All right.
Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help families simplify the college planning process. I'm Kristin Clark. My company is College Planning Untangled, where I work with students to help them figure out a career path and what is going to make them happy in life. And I'm here with Bobby Hood. Bobby's our resident SAT, ACT guru. Of course, I think you hung the moon on that topic. So, Bobby, how are we doing today?
Just great. We're getting to that time of year right now where, lots and lots of students, lots of juniors are about to take their last, SAT and ACT in a few weeks, right at the beginning of June. And so yeah, lots of excitement happening on my end. This is a busy time of year and it's just a lot of fun.
Yes. Well, and another thing's happening. We've got a lot of kiddos that are coming home from college after their freshman year, and we're going to disrupt the households, by the way, as part of that. But also, we're going to hear a lot of parents talking about, oh my gosh, my kid's going to change his major again. He doesn't know what he's doing. He may not go back. All those conversations are going to start up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's because, you go in without a major chosen, or you just kind of pick something because it sounded like it was interesting, but then you start doing it and you realize, hey, maybe this isn't the thing for me, right? So that's normal.
And it kind of dovetails into what our topic is, or somebody told you, do what you're passionate about. And as you can read on the screen, I think it's crap advice. We're going to talk about that.
Well, yeah, it's hard to figure out what you're passionate about, right?
Well, let me do this, Bobby. I want you to just say 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Right. And I want you to tell me what you're passionate about.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like reading books. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, it's a hard stinking question.
It's very hard. You'd think I'd know how to answer it at this point, right? But
yeah,
that's not an easy question to answer.
No, and when you say passionate, right. I mean, that's like, I want to do this every day and every night. And I don't know that there are many people that can answer that question, quite honestly.
Right. Oh, yeah. I don't think, I mean, there are some people who say they might answer it with a career. I've always wanted to be a doctor or something like that. But that's not really the answer to that question, right? The question is, what are you passionate about?
Well, right? and you actually bring up a really good point. I'm actually going to flip that.
Yeah.
They probably got passionate about being let's say a doctor.
Right.
Because they've been doing it and they've become passionate about being a doctor at this point. But did they know that?
Yeah, right. You don't innately know it, right?
Yeah. Right. And to me, and when I'm working with the clients that I have that are in high school and college, and they're trying to figure this out, a lot, I think, going back to basics and really starting to talk more about what are the things that you're good at, and that when you're doing these activities, you feel strong and you feel like, hey, I was born to do this stuff.
Right.
I think that's a better place to start than the passion side, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, if if it was as easy as just saying,
as one of the things that I help my kids with is I do the CliftonStrengths assessment, which gives them the answer really to the question that I just posed. And that is, what are those things that you're so good at that, you just feel strong and you feel like these are things that I was born to do, these activities. And it's interesting, Bobby, because I got to tell you, I was in the home security world doing marketing for 15 plus years. Was I passionate about home security? Well, can anybody get passionate about home security?
Right.
But I did it for a long time and I loved what I did. And I got really excited about home security because of all the things that were attached to it, which was the job that I did. I got to get a lot of people moving forward quickly. I got a lot of people to agree on how to move forward with projects. I was able to look at certain people on my team and go, man, you'd be really good at this. Let's help you do that. So I was using these things that I was good at, and I felt good doing them because they did feel natural to me. That's how I got passionate about my work.
And it's because you got to do a lot of facilitating people and understanding their strengths. And helping them work together as a team, right? Which
Yes.
is the thing that was able to give you passion in the job,
Yes. And it's
right?
those things I do well. You know,
Yeah.
I pose this question. We talk about this a lot. You were an accountant,
Yep.
you were a lawyer, and now you're, teaching students the SAT and ACT and how to take those assessments, those tests.
Right.
What was it? Why did you not love
Mhm.
accounting and being a lawyer? Why did you quit?
Right. And I think, like, I think it is similar to what you were talking about. I mean, like, I like the personal relationship with people and helping make a difference and change things. And it seems like that would be part of what, you do in law or accounting, but those are jobs that mostly days are spent reading long documents and taking notes and editing them, right? And that's not something I was passionate about. It was something that I had some skill at doing, but I didn't enjoy it, right? And now, like, I'm literally at the point where, like, uh the ACT test from last month was just released yesterday. And so I spend all evening taking and going through and taking the ACT test so that I'll be able to tutor it well. And I just thought that was the most fun. Like, each time this happens, like, to me, this is this very fun evening, and
Right.
that's why everyone thinks I'm a crazy person. But I mean,
You are a
literally, that
crazy
was fun.
person, but
Right.
keep going.
But it was great fun. And that's because literally, like, when you worked me through the Gallup strengths, right? And it goes through and it tells you the things that your top strengths. My number one top strength was input, with just learning things and gathering data, right? And my number two strength was learner, which is just learning new things. And then the next three were maximizing and being futuristic and being a relator, relating to people. And so my greatest passions are greatest strengths are getting new information and learning it, right? But then what I want to do with that is work with people to help them create a future, right? And maximize their potential. So it's so funny how you can just look at these things and say, oh, right, this is why I wouldn't perhaps enjoy being an attorney or a CPA. Or maybe there are some jobs in that world that I would have liked, but I didn't like the ones I had.
Right.
And if I had understood any of this when I was in high school, it would have changed what I majored in and probably which career I started in.
Absolutely.
It would have saved me 20 years of my life doing things that I wasn't interested in doing, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Bobby, what's interesting is you and I both share now activators your sixth
Hmm.
strength. Um, but I just realized that actually, but what's fun about that is we both like starts. We like
Right.
to get things launched, and then we like to pass it off to somebody else to keep moving forward. Think about in coaching, what you're
Hmm.
doing is you're getting somebody and you're getting them to move forward. You're
Right.
getting that started so that they can start moving forward. All of those things are important that, you get to be a part of that. You think about being a lawyer or being an accountant, that's projects that go on and on
Yes.
and on and on. That I can see where that's not fun for you.
That's really interesting. And I had not thought about this, but it's actually an interesting thing that, I mean, one of the things that is apparently really unique about me as a tutor is that I just say, look, we're going to spend 4 or 5 hours together, and then you're going to have all the information you need. You're going to have all the strategies. At that point, really, you can
Yeah,
practice.
and
Like, if
what's
you're not at
important
your
on
goal
that,
score,
Bobby, is
practice some more
you
tests.
wanna get
Right?
them moving forward,
Yeah.
and it's not important for you to go, "Ooh," because there's a lot of SAT, ACT coaches that they're like, "We're gonna keep you for 12 months, and here's what you're
Yeah.
gonna learn," and you're like, "Oh, that's no fun for me. Why would
Right.
you wanna do that as a high activator? You wouldn't."
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I assume that students don't want to do that either. I'm just like, get the
Well, they
information,
don't.
take it on your
They don't.
own, right?
Yeah.
But that's how the tutoring industry seems to be geared. It is interesting. And so, yeah, that is, and and I think understanding things like this also helps me understand why, I have 12 unfinished projects, that I started because they were super interesting. I started working on them, then I started working on something else new. That's my own, ADHD, ADD kicking in, right? But that's part of the thing. My strengths are starting new things, envisioning the future, and things like that. And that's why I want to bring in other people around me to, to help keep things going, right? Yeah,
Right, to do those things that you're not
yeah,
good at, and
absolutely.
that's a big, beauty of this too, is to better understand those things you don't enjoy doing so that you can build people around you to, to handle those things.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's interesting, when I am working with students and helping them kind of level set and understand how they're built and why that's so
Mhm.
important for them. I will tell you this idea, I don't use the word passion. I
Yeah.
use the word interests at that
Mm,
point and go, what are all the things that do interest you?
mhm,
And the reason I do this, Bobby, is that if they can attach their strengths to an idea,
mm,
now all of a sudden it makes sense, right? Where they can
right.
go, oh, okay, yes. And I'm going to give you, I talk about my friend Noah a lot. He was one of my clients that he loved golf.
Mhm,
That was an interest of his. And
right.
it's so funny when he talked about it, you could see his body lift up and his lean
Mhm,
in and his voice went up a little bit when he talked about it because he was so excited about golf. Is he always going to be excited about golf? Maybe not. But it was a way to get him excited about learning his strengths and about thinking about different careers that he might be able to be around golf.
mhm.
And where he ended up, and the importance of this story is landscape architecture, and it was building golf courses. That's where we
Wow.
got to. If he doesn't build golf courses in 10 years,
Right.
doesn't really matter. What happens is he got excited about something
Yeah.
and we knew how he could use his strengths within that, and it all lined up. So now he goes off, he learns all he can about landscape architecture. He may get out of school and not even touch a golf course.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Right. But it got him down a path of something he's interested in and will be good at. And
Yes,
then the world is lots of different directions you can go from there. And
absolutely. And he can
that's the
build that passion of
Mhm.
landscape architecture
Sure.
and use it, in any way that he wants to.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. And I mean, that's when you circle back to the topic of the discussion, right? Is this is why I think it's so important what you're able to do with students because parents and friends just say to kids, "Hey, what are you passionate about?" Right? And that doesn't wake anything up in the mind. It doesn't lead you in a direction. And it's not focused on strengths and interests necessarily, right? Because it's just not how people think. And so having a third party, just say, "Okay, let's look at what you're good at and talk about what you're interested in. Look at what makes you lift up like that, right?" And then put that all together, right? I think it's just absolutely fascinating. And I mean, I know for me, like that it would have changed things a lot for me and saved a lot of time. But also I know that the students I have who have worked with you have said the same thing that just this is how they were able to walk into college with much more of an idea about things they wanted to explore, a direction they wanted to go, right? Not necessarily knowing what career they're going to end up
mhm.
in, but knowing kind of a range of things they wanted to explore, right?
Yep, absolutely. And but it in understanding that it was now centered more in what's going to make me happy and
Yeah.
where can I use the things that I'm good at versus find that, silver bullet where it's I'm passionate about it.
Mhm.
That it just doesn't work that way. And I agree with you, Bobby, when they go in really understanding themselves better,
Mhm.
it just grounds them to go, wow, I have some really cool things to share with people. How do I get to do that? So
Mhm.
now it's opening them up to let me have fun with this versus, oh crap, I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
And it's a
Absolutely.
very different way to attack this.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I guess the answer to parents is quit using that stupid passionate word,
Right.
and let's start talking about, kiddo, what's going to make you happy?
Yeah.
What is it that's going to light you up and make you want to get up every day for the next 40 years and go off and do this job?
Right.
And and just get them grounded in the fact that they start with them
Mhm.
versus start with some outside thing.
Yeah, and start with them and what they're good at and what they like doing, right?
Yep.
And what their interests are, not just that you have to feel some burning passion for it, right? It's likely that the things you're good at, right, are going to be connected in some way, right? Uh, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Like I went thought back to it, and I've told this story for many years that like when I was in high school, one of the things I was really good at was coding like computer code and stuff. But now that I think about just the discussion we've had now, like that story I've been telling forever about how, well, I could have done that and then maybe I would have worked at these companies, but I probably wouldn't have liked that job either, because it wouldn't have been, you would have been working on the same thing forever. And I'd be like, no, I've already learned that, right? What I like is learning how to program computer code, just like I liked learning law and learning accounting, but I didn't like doing any of that, right? And that's why I like, the tutoring business, because it's constantly changing and it's new students and new things all the time. So this is so fascinating. I love the way of thinking about it this way. And I think it ends up revealing things about yourself, that you didn't really know until you sat and thought about it.
Yep. Yeah. And the beauty of it is there's an assessment that can give you these answers.
Exactly.
But then you do have to do the work. I mean, you have
Sure.
to think about it and apply the work, but you can start with the manual in front of you and you're not just coming up with this on your own.
I definitely think everybody should go through the CliftonStrengths. It amazed me when I did it, when you had me do it a couple of years ago. It was much more informative than, the Young typology test or something like that, which is just sort of personality stuff,
Yeah. Yep. All right.
All right. Well, this is great. I will see you next time.
Okay. Thanks.